Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Thursday, almost the end of the week. We're almost there. And have I got a great video for you guys today. Today's video is actually going to be based off a comment from Teresa L. She had wrote a comment recently, a pretty short comment, but a great comment, and it really brought back memories of something that happened a while back, and a lot of you know what I'm going to talk about. So the question, the comment that came up is, they just need to make silver coins a currency. And a lot of people, remember, first of all, when 1964, when literally change was silver. We have people that are still stacking today that follow this channel that remember when they could pull silver coins out of the cash register. In fact, one person wrote to me one day and said he remembered when he worked at McDonald's when he was younger, and he would literally, after 1964, pull out the silver quarters and replace them with junk quarters. And he recognized the value. So he was getting silver, a silver quarter for a silver quarter. Now today that silver quarter, $7.30. I mean, looking back at it, it was an absolute steal. But this comment went on to say, why don't they just make them out of silver today? Now, here's the thing. A lot of people don't know this, but Canada tried this. They tried the 20 for 20 program. That means that they made a silver coin and they made it with a $20 face value. What happened to these coins? Where did they all go? Was this a great idea? Was this a bad idea? That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I've often said, I don't understand why they don't make, say, I don't know, a $50 coin and basically make it $50 face value on the coin and make it out of an ounce of silver. Well, what would happen? So that's what we're going to talk about today, and I think this is important that people realize this, because some people realize that silver is money. Some people out there still don't understand that. I actually know one person today. He sold his collection. Sold his collection at $40 an ounce. He said he thinks silver peaked essentially at $40 an ounce, and he wants to cash out and he'll buy it back all up at 30. And maybe he's right. Maybe we will see a dip to 30. Personally, I don't know. I don't think so. And will he be able to find it when that day comes? Who knows? Because as the price comes down, we have seen time and time again that the spot price comes down, premiums just go up. And so, you know, it's something that people have to realize. And don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of people out there that think that, hey, maybe silver did peak. Personally, I don't think we peaked. We did not peak when we're not even at an all-time high, in my personal opinion. This is not financial advice, shouldn't be taken as such, but it's definitely going to be something for y'all to think about today. So with that being said, let's jump in real quick, take a look at the numbers, and then we will get into the topic for the day. Before we do, please take a quick minute, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, become a part of the family. I can't thank you enough. I don't just say that loosely. It really helps out the channel if you hit that subscribe button, especially if you're not subscribed. We're trying to grow the channel. If you are already subscribed, hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on what you think would happen even if silver essentially became money, if we went back to silver as money. But I'll be honest, in quick comment, if they made a $50 coin with $50 face value and it was made out of an ounce of silver, I mean, what would you rather hold, a $50 bill or a $50 ounce of silver? I would take the $50 coin because it's an ounce of silver and it has face value of $50. If I need it, I could spend it. However, as always, bad money will drive out good money because people will take those $50 silver coins and they'll start squirreling them away. And those 20 for 20 coins that Canada released, you don't find them today, but we're going to talk about that in today's video right after we check out what the prices are currently. So currently we have silver trading at $40.70. Now some people might be nervous. It's down 40 cents. Personally, me, I'm not sweating it in the least because when I look even at the last 3-day chart, what did we get up to? We got up to $41.40. We're only down $1 from the 13.5-year high as silver price continues to escalate higher on a 5-day chart, higher on a 1-month chart, higher on a 3-month chart, higher on a 6-month chart, year-to-date chart, it's higher. Think about it. Just the beginning of this year, you could have bought in silver at $28, and now we're at $40. You can clearly see the climb is escalating, and it's probably going to escalate even more. So there's a lot of opportunity. The people that are getting out now, maybe I can understand that some people are basically playing the chance that we might see some big pullback. But as the prices escalate, more and more people are going to want to get into silver, and it's going to get harder and harder to get some physical silver under your belt. Taking a quick look at the gold price, though, we have gold right now trading at $3,531. Really close to the all-time high when you think about it. I mean, we are not far off. If you scroll down a little bit, what did we get up to? Yeah, we got up to, darn, they got up to 35.80. But, you know, 35.80, you're only $50 away from the all-time high. Soon, we're going to pop into the 36s, then the 37s, and, you know, at a certain point, maybe we'll see a little bit of a pullback. Will you ever be able to get gold this cheap again, though, as the price continues to climb? Clearly, something is going on in the world, and now we're seeing all-time highs on the gold price throughout the world, and we're seeing all-time highs in almost every country on silver except for the United States. It only makes sense that here in the United States, we will eventually follow suit. We were one of the last countries to become the all-time high on gold because Americans just don't understand gold and silver. They don't put the time into it. They don't really focus on it. And because of that, they're not prepared for what's coming. And they see dollars as the ultimate way to store your money. And I think people are starting to learn that that's not true because of reckless spending, reckless printing, and just the order of the finances in this country. It's almost like we're essentially printing money out of thin air. And, you know, who knows? We'll see where that goes. But we'll take a quick look real quick at the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin's sitting at $111,160, showing that it's down about $583. However, if you look over it a little bit, you can see it is up over 5 days. However, recently it did hit a little bit of a bump. But when you scroll out a little ways, like a month out, you can kind of see a big drop here that we did come down from the all-time high. The all-time high actually got up to $123,000. Someone left me a comment yesterday. It's basically said to think that that Bitcoin's not worth 150 when we've got people buying trucks now for over $150,000, or we have a Powerball jackpot tonight. Actually, well, last night at $1.4 billion. To think that Bitcoin can't go to 150K or whatever is ridiculous. So let's talk real quick just for a second about that, since we're here talking about Bitcoin right now. So first of all, what does a $1.4 billion jackpot tell you? It tells you that it doesn't matter when people kind of realize they give up. They're frustrated right now with the system. They're overworked. They feel like they're underpaid. They feel like they're going nowhere. They don't know what's going on. What am I doing wrong? I just don't know. And they're looking for an answer. What do? They put a little bit of money, into a Powerball, a $2 ticket. Although I bought one today, and I bought one last night, and it was $2. The next day I bought one, it was $3. I didn't realize that there was that power play, I guess, that multiplier. I'm kind of against them, but I don't know. The guy's like, oh, no, you got to get it, man. If you don't want it, I'll keep it and give you a different one. But you already printed it. I'm not going to give up my ticket. But the thing is, this just goes to show you, when the masses start putting money into something, if every person that bought a Powerball ticket was to go out and buy an ounce of silver, think about that for a minute. An ounce of silver. See, here's the thing. They think they can instantly become a billionaire overnight. And to a certain point, I mean, I guess you could say you could, but technically I'll say you can't become a billionaire overnight because by the time you take the cash option, it's only 700 million. By the time they tax it, it's only 500 million. But I still would be happy with $500 million. I mean, think about that. We only got 15,000 subscribers. I could make some comment up. Everybody that puts a comment on this video is going to get a little something. Don't advertise it. Just put it in the at the end of the video and see how many people mention the key word, and boom. I mean, $500 million. I mean, that's a lot of money. With that being said, let's move. Oh, and back to the truck thing, because I want to address the truck comment a little bit. A truck is something physical. A truck is something that's a livelihood. You can use a truck to pick up scrap metal. I actually brought some scrap metal the other day to the scrap yard. I got about $150 for everything. Not a lot, but it was all stuff that I found on the side of the road. You know, I'll be driving around, I'll cut a cord, I'll maybe throw an appliance that someone's throwing away in my trunk or in the back of my truck. Later, go home, break down the copper, cut the cord, trash the plastic. It's something that doesn't work anyway. Instead of the whole thing going in a landfill, I'm making sure that some of the precious metals like copper, despite people thinking it ain't a precious metal, it definitely has value. In fact, it basically got me 3 extra ounces of silver from stuff I picked up on the side of the road. So I was pretty happy with that. But a truck has real value. A Bitcoin, can't say it has real value. I know it's back to the energy. You can't convert it back into the energy. The energy is already spent. It's like if you go dig a hole in the ground, you can't say that hole is converted into energy. The energy has already been consumed. The hole is already dug. If you don't find a use for that hole, it has no value whatsoever. Moving on real quick, though, I also want to take a quick minute to, let me close out this ad, to talk a little bit, since I had shown a set, a proof set. We were talking yesterday about the price of a silver quarter. And I didn't mention, we talked about silver coins. However, this is on coinflation.com. There's actually a tab at the top that says proof sets. And as you scroll down, you have different silver proof sets that have value. Now, these proof sets are like a 1950 to 1964 proof set. These have silver in them, 56, 64 set, they have silver in them, special mint set, so on. But I showed you guys a set that was specifically a 2006 silver proof set. Now I want you to think about this. A silver proof set from 2006. These are so widely manufactured, there are tons of them. They have almost no collectible value whatsoever. I see these on eBay all the time for dirt cheap. And even people, now I know someone out there might be like, I thought you couldn't trust eBay, there's a lot of fakes. There are a lot of fakes, and there's a lot of scams out there. But on these proof sets, they're just plentiful in my opinion. I don't think I've ever seen one of these state quarter proof sets as a fake yet. I haven't seen one. Now, some of you might have. Hey, I have actually seen a fake silver dime, which blew my mind. The person, I guess, bought them on Temu. It was kind of comical. So there are fakes out there. However, moving on, though, with this set, I want people to realize this set right here. We can pull it up, too. Let's take a look at this proof set real quick. Oh, what the heck? It says view. Why did it take me to this? Maybe I got to hit search first? I don't know. I don't know why it brought me to sports cards. That's awful. I don't want that. No, we're going to close that out then. I guess I'm not going to be able to pull the picture of it up. However, what I want you to take from this proof set, let me show you guys real quick. And then we're going to move on. So 1.338 ounces of silver. So we've got a little over an ounce and a third, essentially. The silver value in this proof set is $54.59. On top of that, it has another $1.06. So that must be a $1 presidential dollar or innovation dollar. I'm not sure what they had back then. Plus a nickel, plus a penny. Those are not silver. The rest of the coins, the half dollar, the quarters, the dime, those are all silver. So it gives this set a melt or face value. I say melt and face because the $6 doesn't really have melt value in terms of it's not copper, it's just clad, or zinc. $55.65. If you see on eBay or anywhere where someone is selling these sets for $35, $40, pick them up. And some people don't even know the difference between the 2006 silver proof set and the 2006 silver state quarter set. And so you sometimes will find the full set with the dollar, with the dime, with the $half for the $35 price tag. This is an absolute steal if you can find some. So I wanted to talk briefly about that. So jumping into today's topic, Canada produced the 20 for 20 face value coins made of 99.99 fine silver starting in 2011 with various commemorative themes like wildlife, pop culture. While these are often referred to as silver $20 coins, they were sold for $20 face value, not as bullion, with a higher silver base worth. So right off the bat, the first thing you've got to say to yourself, if silver is worth more than $20, what do you think would happen to those coins? If you're going to give me a silver dollar for $1, I'm going to take everything you got, along with a lot of other people. Now, it was interesting because people said, oh, they're not turning them into the bank. They're not using them. They're all disappearing. People didn't want them, is what they tried spewing at first. They said they actually lost money on them. Well, naturally, if you're going to give more silver for a lower price, you're going to lose money. However, when I read on, it was only 8 grams of silver. Now, so obviously, when you think about it, 8 grams of silver, technically, that's only $11. But where did they all go? Well, think about it. If you're going to have a cash reserve, a lot of people in the comments will tell me you should keep a good cash reserve on hand. In case of an emergency, you want to make sure that you have extra cash if you lose your job, a few months at least, to pay your bills, whatever the case may be. Would you rather hold a $20 bill, or would you rather have a $20 silver coin? Well, naturally, a $20 silver coin, because if I need $20 or anything, any amount of money, I can turn these $20 coins in for face value and pay a bill, whatever the case may be. A $20 bill, yes, I can do that as well. I can go and spend it and use it the same way I could use a $20 coin. However, $20 in silver slowly climbs up in value as the silver price goes up. So if you're going to hold $100, let's say, and I'm using a small amount for easy math, let's say you're going to hold $100 for your emergency fund. Would you rather hold it in a $100 bill, or would you rather hold it in 5 $20 silver coins? Naturally, you'd want to hold silver. Even if you know absolutely nothing about silver, you're out there, you've never heard of silver, you don't believe in it, you don't know about it, you know nothing. That's okay. You'd still rather hold, it doesn't matter. You'd still rather hold, it doesn't matter what you hold, essentially, whether it's the 5 silver coins or the $100. With that being said, it's natural that these would have all disappeared. There's too many reasons for them to disappear. Now, they say they lost money. And to a certain point, yes, there will be people that will buy these and then turn them back into the bank. Even though there was some really cool stuff. I wanted to get for a while the Star Trek one. I wanted to get the Batman one, the Looney Tune one. And you can actually read all the different designs. Literally, there was a ton of them. Farewell to the Penny and the Queen Elizabeth. It's Diamond Jubilee. I don't know what that is. Canoe trips. Summer scenes, polar bears, lynx, other animals. I mean, these things were made out of silver. They had value, but they also had face value. But a lot of you may or may not have heard of Gresham's Law. Gresham's law says that bad money will always drive out good money. You can go back at any point in history and see what happened. We'll go back all the way to the Roman Empire. First of all, if you were a Roman soldier and you just got paid, let's say, for the week, and they just gave you 7 denariuses, and 5 of them are silver. 2 of them are only, 20%, 25% silver. Which one would you rather hold? You're naturally going to want to spend the bad ones first in circulation. You're going to hold the real silver ones for longer. Another good example of this is our silver coins, our 90% junk silver. Where did all the silver quarters go? Clearly, there are still silver quarters from 65, 66, 67, but why don't I ever see any 64 quarters? I could open up a box of quarters right now and find probably 5 or 10 1965 quarters. Why can't I find a 64? Because bad money drove out good money. The good money is silver and gold. People are holding that. They don't want to give it up because they recognize the price keeps going up on them. That's why a lot of us remember when we could buy a silver quarter. Well, some of y'all remember when you could buy a silver quarter for a quarter. But some of y'all remember when they were $1, $1.50, $2, $3. I remember when I first got into silver, it was about an 11-to-1 ratio. And I said, why? I mean, I was new. Keep in mind, I was newer to silver. And I said, 11-to-1. Why would I want to pay $2.75 for a silver quarter? I mean, it's just a quarter. Because all I saw was what was printed on it. I saw the face value of the quarter. I mean, at least with a standing Liberty quarter, a Mercury dime, you can tell that it's older. But when you have a silver Roosevelt dime and a silver Washington quarter, you don't always see the silver. A clad quarter looks a lot like a silver quarter. If you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know how to look on the edge, it's a quarter. And at the time, 11-to-1 seemed high. And some of y'all today probably say $7.25 for a quarter. I hear it all the time. I hear people tell me, what? That's ridiculous. $7 for a silver quarter? No, $7.25 for a silver quarter. That's even worse. That's 29-to-1 almost. Let's see, is that 29? 20, 28, yeah, 20, 28, 29, 29-to-1. $7.25. So, literally, some people don't understand. It's the material that it's made of. It doesn't matter what it says on there. I told you guys there was a previous president I wasn't a big fan of. And someone had some of them coins. They were silver coins, 1 ounce silver rounds with that president on there. Guy offered to me at spot price. And then they laughed when I bought them. I thought you didn't like him. I think secretly you did like him. You're just ashamed to say it. I said, no. I said, it's an ounce of silver for spot price. It's an ounce of silver for $20. Think about that. And yes, back then it was $20. I said, it makes sense just to buy it. I'm getting it for spot, and it comes in a fancy wooden box. I said, honestly, I'm going to throw this coin in my junk silver pile as an ounce of silver, and then I'm going to take the box and I'm going to put a really nice American Silver Eagle, or maybe even a 30-year anniversary of the Kookaburra. I ended up just picking up a 25-year anniversary and a 30-year anniversary. Pretty cool coins. I love them. Needless to say, I ended up not actually throwing that coin in the junk pile because someone later said, oh, I actually like that president. You don't like him, but I thought he did a good job. And he said, what will you take for it? I said, you give me a different ounce of silver, you can have it. And he said, really? He said, how about I give you this American Silver Eagle for it? I said, I'll take it. That's a good deal to me. I didn't care what was on it. I only cared what it was made out of. The material that it was made out of. Pure silver. Junk silver, 90% silver. It has value. That's why it keeps going up in price. Some people can't see a silver dollar, or I'll use a silver half dollar, a Kennedy silver half dollar, you can still go to the bank and get them. No, you cannot. You can go to the bank and ask for a box of 50-cent pieces, and when you open them up and look through them, chances are, I won't say you won't get any silver, because I opened up one box and I got 108 half dollars that were all silver. Total fluke. Some people have gotten even more. So once you understand that, you understand these things have value. People are taking them. They're plucking them out of circulation because they have value. Silver is going to continue to go up. Sitting at 29 to 1 right now, $7.25 for a silver quarter, $2.90 for a silver dime. This is going to continue to climb. Soon it will be 40, 45, 50, 60, 70. I mean, it's only going to go higher and higher. And a lot of people will just miss the boat. The idea that silver is at an all-time high right now, well, I can't even say an all-time high. People think that it's at a high because it's a 13-in-a-year high. We haven't seen this in a while. But with the manipulation, some people just call it the naked short position. I just call it the short position. But there is such a huge paper short position out there that eventually silver is going to break because they cannot cover this forever. And they just keep making that silver short position bigger and bigger. Someone actually told me the other day in a comment, they said, I told them what I think is going to happen. I think eventually one company is going to end up taking all these short positions on, and then they're going to bankrupt the company. And instantly, no one has to pay the short position. Company goes bankrupt. Doesn't matter. Companies go bankrupt all the time. Someone is going to get their golden parachute. And it's just a matter of when. Because once they do that, that's it. Now there's no short position in silver. You will see silver price skyrocket. Now, can something like that happen? Some people ask me. I had someone leave me a comment the other day. It said, do you remember the 2008 housing crisis? Absolutely. He said, Bear Stearns took a lot of those junk mortgages and then went bankrupt with them. And I think it was Bear Stearns. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. And basically went bankrupt. And poof, that's it. All the companies that wanted to survive had to pick one person, one bank to sacrifice. And you can bet that person that ran that bank got their golden parachute. As for the everyday workers, the tellers, the people that worked in the bank, who cares about them? They ended up just getting cooked. Out of a job. It's no big deal. You can come over to one of these other banks. The same thing could happen today. One sacrificial bank will end up biting the bullet, I guess you can say, and take all the silver short positions and then bankrupt. Oh, they went bankrupt. What do you want us to do? Well, we don't control bank. We don't control what happens. People just don't see how quick things can change. It was funny. Last week on Thursday, someone left me a comment. It said the demand for silver is down. People just aren't buying it in the coin shops. One day later, silver price jumped. A whole $1.50, $2. It just kept climbing. Sunday night, it came up. It climbed even more. And then we're, $41.80. All of a sudden, the demand has spiked. When people don't want something, that's the time to buy it. When everybody wants it, essentially that might be the time to sell it. Now, what's funny is people are selling right now, and yes, the price is high. People are coming around. The demand is definitely picking up, but it's not like it's full-scale demand yet. When full-scale demand sets in, you probably won't be able to pick it up. The premiums will be through the roof. How many people remember 2011? An American Silver Eagle spot price was about $50 for the silver, 1 ounce silver. But a Silver Eagle was selling for $80, and people were buying them. And big money wasn't buying them one at a time like us stackers. They were buying them by the tubes, by the box. Literally 500 ounces at $80 a piece. Do you think they cared When the world is panicking and people are looking for a safe haven to put their money, where are they going to put it? They're certainly not going to put it in a thin air, inflated investment. And no, I'm not saying strictly Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Although, yes, that is thin air. But it could also be an overinflated investment. Maybe it's a stock that is just doing crazy based on who knows what. Hype. Maybe it's real estate. I had someone tell me, what do you do to fight inflation? It can't just be silver and gold. There's got to be other investments. I said, some people believe real estate. He goes, the problem with real estate, though, is taxes are getting crazy. I said, absolutely. That's why I don't like them. I want to limit bills. How much money I'm spending every month. That's what I want to limit. Right now, I'll be honest, I'm strapped for cash. I don't have much money. But, I mean, ultimately, I think it will pay off. And two, when you go through hard times, what happens? Think about it for a minute. What happens when you barely have enough money to feed yourself? Well, chances are you're going to lose some weight. You're going to tighten up your budget. And things will get better eventually. Once they get better, because nothing lasts forever, the tides of money come and go. And once you treat money just like that, you start realizing what's really going on. When things get better and you've made serious changes, you've started paying your bills, you started cooking at home more, you stopped going out and renting movies, maybe going to the movies, and now you're watching movies at home with your family. You're eating dinner with your family. You're coming home for lunch from work. You know, if you live close enough, maybe you're packing your lunch to go to work and you're saving all that money. What happens when things get better? Now you prosper. You prosper. When things are good, that's the time to prosper. Not live high on the hog thinking there's never going to be a storm that comes. Financial storms come and go in your life, and good times come and go. But when you take advantage of those good times, those good opportunities, you really see what's happening. You know, jumping over here, I pulled up this tab for a reason. Oh, this was because the 20 for 20, I had mentioned that they were 8 grams. 8 grams of silver, melt price right now is only $10.56. But if given an opportunity to hold a $20 silver coin, even for $10.56, it's worth it because it still has a $20 face value. And yes, some people might turn these back into the bank for $10, but, or in this case, they turn them back in for $20 because it said $20 on them. But now the bank is holding all this silver. As silver price goes up, these coins become more valuable. At some point, someone in the banking system, when this goes over, is going to buy all these coins back up. Although I can't even find one, so unless I buy it at a higher premium. Taking a quick look, I had pulled this up real quick because I found it interesting. The 20 for 20 silver coins that Canada produced were primarily sold to collectors, so they say. However, a $20 bill is a $20 bill. A $20 coin is a $20 coin. I mean, I go to the store sometimes and I use presidential dollar coins. I don't care what it's made out of. It's money. I'm going to use it. And the Royal Canadian Mint sold them as a way to market collectible coinage to a new consumer in the precious metals markets. So they were trying to get new people to buy collectibles. The thing is, it still was popular because of that. Now, many of these coins were sold out right off the bat. Obviously, people liked them at first, and collectors still hold them. Though the Royal Canadian Mint faced financial losses when the value of silver dipped below the $20 value. So let me ask you a question. If the silver value dipped below $20, I would think that means that you can make something for less than $20 because it dipped below that value and then still get $20 for it. You see what I'm saying? But then again, if I was a bank, why would I even want to make any silver coins? I'm the bank. I'd rather you just take paper. Shoot, I wish I could just give you digits on a screen because then it costs me nothing. It doesn't even cost me the paper it's printed on. I can just electronically give you some digits. At least with silver coins, I had something of value in my possession. Even with copper pennies. Now, I know pennies ain't copper anymore. They're zinc now. But I still go through my change at the end of the day, and I throw them in a jar. And the junk ones I might put in my pocket now for the next day. Why? Because I'm tight on cash. Before, I just threw it all in a jar. Now I'm tightening up, and I'm like, dude, you need to find ways to cut costs a little bit here and there. You know, the mint ceased its face value program. And the coins are now considered numismatic value rather than currently circulating currency. With individual sales and purchases largely handled by collectors and dealers. You know, these were pretty cool. It was a good concept. I think for a while they were giving something back to the people. A lot of these problems that we have today would not be problems if our money was still silver. I want you to think for a second. If a silver quarter is worth $7.25, let's pull up a calculator so y'all can see it real quick. Let's say, clear, $7.25. That's one silver quarter. Times 5. $36.25. Think about that. That means you could pay me $1.25 and I would work for that if they're silver quarters. But they can't do this because they've convinced us to hold junk, to accept junk, to give up our lives, our work, our basically everything, our life for nothing, for paper, for clad. They hold the silver. They control everything. People just don't realize that. If I have an opportunity to work and take a little bit of those fiat dollars and put them into an ounce of silver at $40, $41, I'm the one winning. Why? What makes you think that an asset that has been constantly going up over the years and is now escalating in value day after day is going to all of a sudden plunge back down to nothing when there is so much more money in the system? That money has to flow somewhere. Where is all that cash flowing? All those dollars. Well, yeah, a lot of it's flowing into investments, assets. They're driving the price of everything higher. And eventually, when you go to sell any of these assets, get ready to pay your tax. Got to pay Uncle Sam. You know, people just don't see what's happening. With that being said, I think we're going to wrap up here for today's video. Let me just check the time. 37 minutes. All right. That was a good video. I know some people like this longer format, and so I'm thankful that you guys enjoy it. It does help me out if you hit that thumbs up button, if you hit that subscribe button. We're growing the channel. Got a lot of other great videos on the channel. I try to post a video every Monday through Friday at 6:02 Central Time. I also try to post a short video every day. And some of these short videos are pretty exciting. They're not always about gold. They're not always about silver, but they are exciting. I actually looked at this, a whole silver collection. Dude bought a bunch of silver eagles. All fake. Could not believe it. All fake. Devastating. You know, it's important that you know your silver. If you know your silver, you're going to do all right, I believe. Now, nothing I said is financial advice, nor should it be taken as such. A lot of the short videos don't always coincide with the gold and silver. I used to talk about a lot of different things. I still do, but I mostly target silver right now. But I like doing a lot of cooking. I like doing a lot of show and tells and talk about a lot of different things. So I thank everybody for hitting that subscribe button. You are part of my family. We did 15,000 subscribers together. I would not be here without you. We just hit 15,000. It was a huge accomplishment for me, and I can't thank all of you enough for hitting it. Hopefully the next goal, I said the next goal is 16,000. Someone else said it's 50,000. I don't know if I'll ever see 50,000, but who knows? Who would have guessed I would have been to 15? So we'll see. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you hit the subscribe button and check out some of these other great videos. Have a great day, and I will see you guys again tomorrow on T-Square Talk. Take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.